Hi, this is Corey. I'm here with Freelance Fusion, and we are interviewing San Diego's best and brightest businesses. Today I have the awesome privilege of interviewing Dr. Tirgari with Avalon Laser Hair Removal. He's got offices in San Diego and Carlsbad. And we have spoken with several people who aren't quite sure what laser hair removal is all about. So right now, I would just like to introduce Dr. Tirgari here. Dr. Tirgari, welcome. Thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Corey. Thanks for having me.
So maybe if you could just start right into it, how does laser hair removal work?
You know, it's a question we commonly get asked. And regardless of which laser technology you're using, the basic essence of laser hair removal is that the laser will target the pigment that's present within the hair follicle when there's an active hair sitting within it. And by applying heat directly to that hair pigment, it will destroy the hair follicle permanently so the hair doesn't grow there anymore.
Very interesting. Okay. So that kind of explains, I guess, sort of the medical aspect of it. Is it guaranteed that you'll get complete hair removal, I guess, within, what, it takes 6 treatments? Is that right?
You know, we start with the average of 6 sessions because for the majority of clients, 6 treatments are enough to give them the results they're looking for. Now, that does depend on some other factors, such as, you know, their ethnicity, their skin type, and what body area we're treating. Some body areas, for example, might need more sessions of laser hair removal because there's a far greater density of hair follicles within that area. For the majority of clients, we find that 6 sessions of laser hair removal are going to be more than enough to give them the results that they're looking for.
Wow, okay, so 6 sessions, that's really good. So once somebody goes through 6 sessions of this laser hair removal, does that hair eventually end up growing back?
Well, that's actually a question we oftentimes get. And sometimes people ask us, why does it take 6 sessions? And we tell them, you know, and we'll probably get to that in a later question, but the hair that you currently have now is going to be gone. And we can't stop clients from growing new hair. Every tissue in the body except for brain is going to grow and regenerate. When you break a bone, you're going to grow a new bone. You always grow new blood cells, for example, etc., etc. But any future hair growth that occurs after laser hair removal, interestingly enough, compared with waxing and shaving, any future hair growth tends to be much more sparse, much more finer, much thinner. And people oftentimes find that once they're done with their 6 sessions of laser hair removal, if they do have future hair growth, they may need to come in once every year, once every 2 years, once every 5 years, just for a small touch-up session. And that's one advantage that laser hair removal has over other methods of hair reduction.
Good. So I guess if it is that kind of hair that you're talking about, it's probably not too noticeable anyways, right?
We oftentimes get that. A lot of times when people do get hair growth in the future, it tends to be still fine and sparse. They don't even notice it. Occasionally they want to come in and get a touch-up, and it may be years out. But either way, it ends up being much more cost-effective to get their hair removed using laser hair removal compared to other methods.
Okay, excellent. So why is it important not to pluck or tweeze hair in between treatments?
That's a good question. We tell this to clients, especially when they're starting their laser hair removal appointment. And the reason for that is because if you do not have a hair sitting in the hair follicle when you are treating with laser hair removal, the laser doesn't see it. When you take the hair out of the follicle becomes invisible to the laser, and the laser passes right through it. So it undermines the actual treatment if people start getting waxing or they tweeze or they pluck or even use those hair removal creams that are on the market sometimes. And so we advise clients that once they start with laser hair removal, shaving is fine. That's actually something that we recommend in between their laser sessions. But beyond that, no waxing or plucking is necessary, and in fact might actually be detrimental.
Wow. Okay, so if you are getting laser hair removal, don't shave, or you do shave if you need to, but don't tweeze, don't pluck. I think that's some really good advice because the temptation, I guess, would always be to go and get waxed or do something like that. So I know that a lot of people have gotten waxed, and I know that I've heard horror stories about pain. What's the pain quotient like for a laser hair removal? Does it hurt?
You know, people actually find that compared with waxing, laser hair removal is far better tolerated. And the fact of the matter is, once people come to us to get laser treatments, they've done waxing, they've done plucking, they've done tweezing, they've done all those things before. They've kind of gotten sick of it. And so they have this trepidation about whether or not laser hair removal is going to have the same level of pain. Maybe in the old days, with the older laser technologies, there was some discomfort people used to talk about that create the notoriety that you just mentioned. With the newer laser technologies and more advanced lasers that we're using, especially in our practice, we find that patients oftentimes are surprised at how well tolerated it is. The lasers that we use have a very active cooling system, and so they do a very good job of numbing the area, cooling the area, and given the number of different types of patients we've treated and the huge age range of the patients that we've treated, we can say with confidence that it's probably going to be a lot less uncomfortable for them to get laser hair removal compared with the waxing that they may have done in the past.
Oh, well, that sounds like a pretty good value proposition for somebody, especially if they are have an aversion to pain. So that's really good to know. So very limited amount of pain involved with that. That's great. What can people expect right after that kind of treatment, Dr. Tirgari?
Sometimes it all depends on the person. It varies to some degree from person to person. But we'll tell clients, you can expect some redness, maybe even a little bit of irritation in the skin immediately after your treatment session. That can last anywhere from a few minutes to an hour to maybe even just a couple of hours after the laser treatment. Generally speaking, for people who've had waxing, it's a familiar sensation because the waxing is something they're familiar with. It's a far less irritating treatment than waxing because it doesn't really strip the skin. Laser hair removal goes deeper in the skin, and with the active cooling measures that we use to bring more comfort and cooling and soothing to the skin during the laser treatments, we find that the recovery period is actually much, much shorter. And so for the majority of clients, within a day or so at the most, they find that they're pretty much back to normal.
Wow, okay. Okay, so this is actually kind of exciting for me. I feel like I want to get my whole face just kind of laser hair removal except for right here, but I don't think I'm going to go that route, but I just might. So the big question on everybody's mind when I think of laser hair removal, it just sounds expensive. So what is it? What does it actually cost?
That's a good question too. And a lot of it depends. And by the way, we have a lot of clients who are men who come to us. Back in the day, it was felt to be mostly women that would get this done, but you would be surprised at how many men are taking care of themselves and getting rid of unwanted hair, whether it's for themselves or for their partners. But cost is an issue that we get. We have the same trepidation that clients come to us with, and we've actually never had a client that we couldn't get treated. There's a variety of financing plans that we have to offer, and we can pretty much make it work with almost any budget, whether it's the college students that come to us or women who are already established and are working professionals and everything in between.
Wow, okay. Well, that's actually really good news. So basically, if somebody was on a limited budget, they could still get treatment?
Absolutely. In fact, many people come to us and they ask us what type of financing, what kind of payment plans are available. And we have a whole gamut that we can offer clients. We want to make sure this is something that can work within their budget. And generally, we find that when clients come to us, we can work with them and make it work for them.
Okay, well that's really great news, Dr. Tirgari.
Just to add as well, I'm sorry to interrupt. We find that the more areas that patients get treated, the more they can save. Sometimes it makes more sense for them to pay for the full package of 6 treatments up front, and sometimes they choose to pay as they go. But we have a variety of ways in which we can structure it. And so, it's not something that, when you actually compare the cost of laser hair removal with, say, waxing and shaving and plucking, we find that after about a year, it's already paid for itself. And especially when you consider the cost of time for, working professionals, and you consider how much time it takes in the shower when you have to shave your legs or shave your armpits and so on and so on, and you add up the cost of additional water usage and so on, we find that it actually becomes very, very competitive in the long run.
Okay, well, so that's really the competitive advantage that you have with laser hair removal, and really the return on investment is realized for a lot of people, maybe even within the first year. So I can definitely understand that. And definitely, if you add up an entire lifetime spanning getting waxed and shaving, and you do all the math of the time that somebody actually spends, I think that that's a huge return on investment. So I think I am going to go down there and get myself evaluated. At least my wife. I'm going to bring my wife down there. So how would somebody actually get started with you, Dr. Tirgari?
The first thing they have to do is, whether they have any questions or whether they want to get started, is just pick up the phone and give us a call. A lot of times clients have done their own research and their own homework, and they come to us when they feel comfortable that we're going to be the best place for them. A lot of times they may have additional questions, and I encourage clients who are considering laser hair removal or any laser treatment to either come in and get a free consultation with us or just talk to one of the nurses and staff. My staff have done this for so many years. They've treated so many thousands of clients. They can pretty much answer any question from anyone.
Okay, excellent. Well, that's very good news. Very good news. So, can you maybe finally? I know that you have offices in San Diego and Carlsbad. Where can people get more information about this kind of procedure, Dr. Tirgari?
And that's a good question as well. We get so many clients who come to us with many of those questions that you just asked me. When clients decide that they want to get this done, they have just additional questions that they want to get answered, they can go to our website at www.avalon-laser.com, and there's a very, very comprehensive frequently asked questions section that answers most of the questions that clients ask. And we also provide ongoing education through our blogs, which are very, very informative and bring a wealth of information to clients, so those who subscribe to our news feeds can get more information as we develop more information and we start to learn more and share more of that with our clientele. But our website is a great resource for clients. If they want to learn more and they want to just talk to us directly, they can call us at either our downtown or our Carlsbad office, and we'd be happy to answer their questions for them.
Okay, wonderful. Well, that is very good. Avalon-laser.com, ladies and gentlemen. We hope that this interview has really helped out. I'm going to give a shout out to that phone number downtown in San Diego, 619-990-1138. Give them a call. Give Dr. Tirgari a call. He is the best in San Diego for laser hair removal. So if you have any questions, go ahead and give them a call or stop by their office. They're at 2445 5th Avenue, number 240 in San Diego, 92101. And they're also at 2588 El Camino Real in Carlsbad, up in North County, serving everyone in the North County area. And that's in Carlsbad, California, 92008. Thank you so much. This, again, is Corey, and I'm here with Freelance Fusion, and you have been listening to the best and the brightest in San Diego. And today, we want to thank you, Dr. Tirgari, for sharing with us about laser hair removal. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Corey. We appreciate it.